it's not that great when you're the visiting team and you get out to a big lead in the first inning because your starter is waiting to go out on the mound for the bottom of the inning. And it's a different game when you get on the mound and you already have a 5-0 lead, as opposed to getting on the mound when you have a 0-0 tie.
You are Locked On Yankees, your daily New York Yankees podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On Yankees, which is part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Thank you for making us your first listen every day. I'm Stacey Gotsoulias. This episode is brought to you by Monarch Money. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. With me, as usual, my co-host, Brian McKeon. Much better game on Tuesday night, huh?
Yeah, game was over by the first inning, so that made it easier.
Unbelievable. Before we get started, don't forget, subscribe to Locked On Yankees on whichever podcasting platform you prefer. Subscribe to our channel on YouTube, like our videos, and hit the bell so you're notified whenever our videos go live. On today's show, we preview the finale in Baltimore. We discuss whether or not Aaron Judge is underappreciated. That's an interesting conversation. But first, bombs away in Baltimore. Unbelievable start to Tuesday night's game.
Yeah, I guess the Orioles finally showed their true colors, right, as opposed to game one. Carlos Rodón gave you exactly what you wanted out of the starter, right? Exactly what we asked for. We said, go out there and shove and do what an ace does. Stop it where it needs to be stopped. And he did more than that. I mean, this is one of those games, Stacey, when you see a team come out like the Yankees and score all these runs more often than not. And tell me if I'm wrong. The team that scores all the runs tends to give up a lot of runs in the next inning because they don't take the game as seriously because they think, oh, it's over already. And they start, not being as serious about the game. And Carlos Rodón did not do that. He pitched like a man on a mission, and he was excellent all game.
Yeah, I was actually watching the game with my mother, and I was explaining to her, I said, sometimes it's not that great when you're the visiting team and you get out to a big lead in the first inning because your starter is waiting to go out on the mound for the bottom of the inning. And it's a different game when you get on the mound and you already have a 5-0 lead, as opposed to getting on the mound when you have a 0-0 tie.
You pitch a lot more loose, and unfortunately that generally results in a lack of location, just not focusing as much as you need to be. So, but Rodón, that was not an issue for at all. I mean, he was dialed in from the start of this game to when they took him out. He was dialed in the entire time. One of his more impressive starts as a Yankee, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, he had a no-hitter going into the bottom of the sixth, and he gave up a walk and then a double to Mateo. His ERA is down to 3.43, although it was down to 3.24 before he gave up a home run to his last batter in Gunnar Henderson, and it was a pitch that missed.
Yeah.
Wells had the glove right in the middle of the plate, and Rodón threw it inside to Henderson, who was waiting for it there. And it was a really good performance by him, again, because it could have been a letdown, even with a 5-run lead with Rodón, and he did not let up. He looked amazing for those first 6 innings. So 6 innings pitched, 2 hits, the 2 earned runs, 7 strikeouts, 1 walk, and that home run to Henderson. He had 10 swings and misses, and his highest pitch was 97 miles an hour.
Yeah, throwing gas. I mean, he looked absolutely outrageous out there. And in the start of this game, too, it's funny. I said earlier, and when I recorded our YouTube short, Stacey, that, or I guess it's not YouTube, it goes out everywhere. But regardless, I mentioned that we've seen this before. Literally, the Yankees starting a game off with 3 consecutive home runs and 4 in the first inning, and it just, I don't think I've ever seen a year where this has happened twice in the same season, not let alone twice in the same month.
Because you haven't. The 2025 Yankees are the first team to ever do it twice in the same season. And
remarkable.
They did it once on the road and once at home. So done. You got it done. Once on the road, once at home. And, this time it was a different threesome that got the first 3 home runs. Grisham, who, that guy loves the leadoff position. Another 1-0 pitch hits the ball really far. Then Judge, then Rice, then Bellinger's getting
hotter. Yeah, he's up a lot.
Yeah. But the interesting thing about this is the 11th time in Major League history that a team has let off a game with back-to-back-to-back home runs. It's the first time since all the way back on March 29th when the Yankees did it against the Brewers with Goldschmidt, Bellinger, and Judge doing it off old friend Nestor Cortez.
Yeah.
But the offense was just, everyone got involved in different ways. Jazz Chisholm was involved in that first inning. He hit the double, then made it to third on the misplay in right by Laureano, and then he got hurt. It's an oblique. Yep. Brian Hoke said that Boone said he will have Chisholm testing on his right oblique during the off day on Thursday. Boone said there's some concern it could be an IL situation, though Jazz told him he feels fine. But, players will always
more
say
than
they
likely,
feel fine.
I would think it will be. More than likely, I would think it will be an IL stint for multiple reasons. Early on in the season, he's a starter. You're not gonna mess around with an oblique injury like that.
No, not an oblique. Because he could be out for like 3 months.
Exactly. So you're not going to let him try and play through an oblique injury in April. That's ridiculous. You put him on the IL, Stacey. They might not put him on the IL today or tomorrow because they'll see how it develops. But they'll put him on the IL over the weekend. They'll make it retroactive to Tuesday night. You put him on the IL, Stacey, on sheer caution.
Sure.
That's it. On sheer caution that he's okay, confirm he's okay, everything like that. You cannot afford to let him get hurt, and you're not going to have a guy play through a possible injury and possibly re-aggravate something in April.
Now, this makes for an interesting situation.
Know where you're going with this, absolutely.
Because who came in to play for him in the game? Peraza. So this might be a chance for Peraza to open some eyes if Jazz goes on the IL and they play him at second base.
What's so funny is I made a statement just seconds ago, know where you're going with this. I didn't know where you were going with this because I had a different name in mind.
Really?
There's a guy playing in Double-A right now, Somerset, named DJ LeMahieu.
Yeah.
That I feel like when Aaron Boone saw Jazz Chisholm go down, probably started foaming at the mouth. Oh, this is a reason to get LeMahieu in the lineup.
Yeah, no, I was thinking Peraza.
Yeah. Well, I'd rather your theory. I like your theory way more than LeMahieu theory.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Again, they don't want him. The Yankees haven't downgraded it or anything. The Jazz thinks it's totally fine. Let's just wait till the reports come out. I think he'll definitely be on the IL just for precautionary reasons. So I think it'll be probably 2 weeks till you see Jazz back out on the field. But really, overall, this team just, mashing from the start of the game, kept consistently scoring throughout the game, pitched really well. This is a dominant win. And really, after the way that we spoke about it yesterday, after losing the first game of the series, you kind of wanted to see them give a dominant performance out there. And they certainly did that, Stacey.
This was like the Yankees beating up on the Orioles when the Orioles weren't good.
Yeah.
Like it felt like that type of game. The Orioles just looked bad. They made bad plays. There were a few bad plays in the field. They looked lost at the plate against Rodón, and it stands to reason. They're not great against lefties, so it's too bad that the Yankees couldn't have Fried and Rodón in this series. But watching them was it's incredible to see them be this bad, and it makes me angry that the Yankees didn't win on Monday.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's aggravating to me that they lost again on Monday for sure, but I think the storyline more is the alarmingness of how bad Baltimore is. This is a team that won 100 games 2 years ago. It just doesn't make any sense how you go out there. And again, we're going to say it a million times this year, but how you spend no money in the offseason and how now they're just, it's almost like karma's really getting them. It's just, this is an all-time bad one, Stacey. It really is.
And poor Kyle Gibson.
I don't know if this team's going to figure things out either.
Poor Kyle Gibson. Making his season debut, 3 2/3 innings, 9 runs. Just, I can't remember whose home run was it. I think it may have been Rice's home run. He just made a face like looking back at the ball, because at that point it was the third one in a row. And then Bellinger and, Volpe. Hey, Volpe's hitting still.
Tremendous. I wanted to mention that too. Tremendous defense out of Volpe too in this game.
Oh my God, that one play where the no-hitter was still intact.
What a play.
That was a speedy. Who was running? Was it Laureano? No, it was
Yeah. No, it
was
was.
it
It was
him?
Ramon. It was Ramon Laureano. Yeah.
And he's pretty fast, and
Yeah.
he got him out on that play. That was amazing. And when someone gets a no-hitter, Rodon obviously didn't get the no-hitter, but when someone gets a no-hitter, there's always a
Every
play
time.
like that every single time in the
Yeah.
game. And I thought I was like, oh, hey, maybe this might happen, but it didn't. But that's okay. So Ben Rice had 2 home runs. He had a single. He had the day off the previous day. He was also banged up from when he got hit in the elbow.
Yeah.
So he was 6 for his last 20. They didn't have him play on Monday. They put him back in the lineup on Tuesday, and he hits home runs in his first 2 at bats. Like, didn't miss a beat. Like, unbelievable what he's doing.
Everything out of the ball when he hits it too. I mean, he hits the ball so damn hard. It's impressive. Stacey also mentioned too, Gibson's ERA now after going 3 2/3, 11 hits, 9 earned. His ERA is 22.09.
Rough, very rough. Quickly, bullpen. We could talk about the fact that Charlie Morton came out of the bullpen for the Orioles because of the kind of game it was.
Yep.
So I'm assuming he's not making his next start because I think they might skip him, but maybe he is. And speaking of the Yankees bullpen, Ian Hamilton, 2 innings, no hits, 13 strikeouts, and a 13.
13 would have been really impressive.
I think 13 pitches or 14 pitches in those 2 innings. It was They were very quick. That's what I meant. 3 strikeouts. And Matzik in the last inning, 1 hit, 1 run, 2 walks. Yankees win 15-3. Just amazing.
Take game 3.
Yeah. Oh, yes. We'll talk about it in segment 3. I was going to say something, but we'll talk about it in segment 3. Don't forget, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button on our videos, hit the notification so you know when our videos go up. You can also join the Locked On Yankees Insiders Club. The link is in the description. You get texts from us. You can text us questions, comments, reactions to trades and signings, or the game. Got plenty of that on Tuesday night. We send out lineups during the season, roster moves, and breaking news so you don't have to check social media. There's a 14-day free trial. All right, coming up, is Aaron Judge underappreciated? We'll discuss that next.
You ever check your bank account and wonder where'd all my money go? Between dining out, online shopping, and entertainment, it's very easy to lose track. And that's where Monarch Money comes in, your personal CFO giving you full visibility and control over all of your finances. Monarch Money isn't just a budgeting app. It's a complete financial command center. You can track all of your accounts, investments, and spending, all available in one place. So you stop just managing your money and you start building your wealth. Now, when I started using Monarch, I realized just how much I was spending on food delivery. And now I budget smarter and I save more. Instead of juggling multiple apps, you can use Monarch to check your finances, track your spending, and even plan for those long-term goals. Managing money with your partner is also smoother than ever. You can track shared and personal accounts, set goals, and stay on the same page without the stress. Take control of your finances at Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com, code LOCKEDONMLB for half off your first year. So, Stacey, I saw this debate going on over the weekend, and I thought it was necessary to bring up during the week on the show because it really is remarkable sometimes when you think about what Aaron Judge has done over the last, 5 seasons or so at this point. And I do feel like there are times that he is slightly underappreciated. As Yankee fans, you don't sometimes realize what you're watching every single night and what you've been watching the last couple of seasons and at the historic pace that he's played at. I want to take a chance to remind people, but also to ask you if you think this is a theme around baseball. Because I will say this. While he is an amazing player, and while there are historical things going on at his sense as well, Shohei Ohtani gets a lot more attention and a lot more love from Major League Baseball and National Major League Baseball attention than Aaron Judge does. And I know a part of that is definitely an element of trying to, introduce the international market into the game. I'm not naive to that. But Shohei Ohtani gets a lot more attention out there than Aaron Judge does. And I know he does both, but he hasn't done both in a while. And quite frankly, Aaron Judge has better hitting numbers than Ohtani does. Mm-hmm. That's not saying Ohtani isn't great, but Aaron Judge's numbers are better. Let me read this off to you, Stacey, just to see, how your reaction is. In the last year, I took out last April because it's basically been a year now from the start now and last April. And last April, he was, not playing well. So basically just go the last previous calendar year, right? From May to the end of this April, right? Aaron Judge in that time is hitting over 360 with 60 home runs and 157 RBIs in that season of play. It's absurd. He has a 13.7 WAR, right? In that single season span. That's not over his career so far. That's in that single season span. He has a 13.7 WAR. There's one player in history to have a season with a higher WAR. That's Babe Ruth.
Wow.
Think about that. The average, I just want to put this in perspective for everybody too, because Judge currently right now, what is he hitting after today's game? Actually, that's a good point. I should have checked this. Stand by for 2 seconds. I'll find that for you. But the average player right now strikes out 20% of their at-bats in baseball, which might seem like a high number, but strikeouts are a little more prevalent in the game. And after today's game, Aaron Judge is hitting 412 currently, Stacey.
Mm-hmm.
If you take out these strikeouts, which are 20% of the at-bats, you essentially need to hit 500 in every ball you make contact with to maintain a 400 batting average throughout the season. And that's what Aaron Judge has done.
Wow.
It's incredible what he's done. So I know his numbers are great. And I know Yankee fans are aware of how amazing his numbers are. And we certainly make it known as much as possible on the show how great he is. But do you think around the rest of Major League Baseball, he's a little underappreciated?
I think so. I do. I also think that it's annoying to me, all of the great things that he's done so far. And the one thing that people from other fan bases will bring up is the dropped ball in the World Series after all the stuff that he's done.
Or the poor postseason play too.
Yeah.
The not being able to hit as well in the postseason when the numbers that he's putting up. I mean, you can make a debate, Stacey, that he's put up an MVP caliber season every season he's played as a full-time player. Mm-hmm. Think about how amazing that is. Again, there's one player with a higher WAR in a season span in the history, and it's Babe Ruth. That's how insane that stat is. It's ridiculous that the stuff that he's doing. And we lost our minds over the 360 season that Luis Arias gave in the COVID year when he hit 360, and everyone was like, "Oh my God, how great he is!" And LeMahieu was in the 350s that year, and how amazing it is. This is over a 162 game span that just hit 360, and you're talking a 360 hitter. He's a power hitter, Stacey. Mm-hmm. He's not your traditional slack ball hitter who's going to give you a high average. He's a power hitter. He hits for average. He walks. He doesn't strike out. It's remarkable how good he's been in that time frame, and it's really hard to explain.
Yeah, because when you see someone batting, like even say 330 for the season, they're not hitting 60 home runs. They're not even hitting 50 home runs. They're hitting maybe like 20 for the most part, And
on the reversal too, when guys have 50 home runs and 130 RBIs, they're generally not hitting 320 either. Right. Generally, they're hitting 270 because they're sacrificing a little bit of their swing for their power.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, I say it all the time. People, I don't know if it's underappreciation, but I don't think people realize how well-rounded he is as a player. If you don't watch him day in and day out, you don't know the things that he does on the field and the range that he has in the field, like especially when he was covering center field. Like he made some amazing catches when he was playing center field. And now that he's back in right field, he's a little more himself, I guess, playing in right field. But, there were a few years there that he should have won the Gold Glove, but didn't because he was playing two different positions and it kind of screwed with his numbers. He also, no offense to Jose Altuve, should have won the MVP in 2017. Because if you broke down every single category offensively, Judge won more of them than Jose Altuve. I will never forgive the writers for that.
That one actually is still a disgrace.
Yeah. It's a disgrace that he didn't.
I want to ask you this because I'm going to move the next topic into the third segment, but I did want to see if you saw the news story on Jose Altuve, who is now requesting to not hit leadoff because he's been playing left field all year, and he's struggling playing left field and hitting, and he told the Astros that he would rather not lead off anymore because, quote, it takes too long to get from left field to the dugout. to get ready for an at-bat, I don't have enough time to get ready for the at-bat. Every team, every night, in every baseball game, Stacey, has a leadoff hitter. This is the first time this has ever been complained about. So weird.
All right. Well, all right. Not to take his side, he has smaller legs than other players because he's not very tall. At best, he's 5'5", even though he's listed at 5'6". He's not 5'6". And I think it's interesting that as soon as they moved him into the number 2 spot, he hit a home run.
Yeah, he started hitting, that's for sure.
Yeah, like he started hitting in the number 2 spot. But I had never heard anything like that before. So yeah, he requested and said to them, look, I'd feel more comfortable if I wasn't leading off because it takes me too long to get to. I just found that so funny because they were talking about it on the game on Tuesday night. And I was like, what? And I rewound it because I thought I was mishearing it.
Yep.
And then I rewound it. I was like, okay. And then there was something else that they were talking about. First of all, let me just say this quickly. I love the K. Girardi Cone booth.
Completely agree. It's a great booth.
Love it. I really do. Not to take away from the K. O'Neill Cone booth, because I like that too, because you need the comic relief with Cone and O'Neill along with K. But I really like the information that Girardi and Cone give out. I also thought it was really funny at first that Girardi was not sure about the name That Yankee. And I was like, you managed him.
Yep.
And then he got it. Like, he was like, oh, wait, I got it. They were telling a story and I heard a snort and I could tell it was Girardi laughing in the background.
Definitely got a different personality than when he was behind the dugout. That's for sure.
Yeah. So I'm glad he's back with the Yankees, that there's no ill will anymore. Like, he's with the S Network. He's with the team basically as a broadcaster. Not all the time, but, enough during the year.
Completely agreed.
But yeah, back to Judge. He's unbelievable. More people should appreciate him. And I think it's silly that they don't.
Agreed. And I get the national attention baseball drives at Ohtani because they want to get the international market involved. I get it. But show Aaron Judge a little bit more love. He's been that good.
Yeah. All right. Coming up, we're going to preview the finale against the Orioles. And we have other stuff to take care of next.
Are you looking for a snack that's both delicious and nutritious? Well, you can crack into a good source of protein with Wonderful Pistachios. Wonderful Pistachios is one of the highest protein nuts. Each 1 ounce serving has 6 grams of protein, giving you over 10% of your daily value. Plus, they're packed with fiber and better for you unsaturated fats to help keep you feeling fuller for longer. There's a variety of great flavors, including jalapeno lime, dill pickle, chili roasted, and smoky barbecue. And you can also get lightly salted or unsalted if your taste buds aren't quite ready for the bold flavors. Now, personally, I love the no shells variety. It's the perfect grab-and-go snack for the busy days. And whether I'm snacking at my desk, on a road trip, or I just need a quick protein boost, they're always my go-to. And if you love cracking open every shell, get that satisfying crunch. The in-shell options are also a classic favorite. Whether you're running between meetings or dropping off the kids, Wonderful Pistachios are the snack that works as hard as you do. So get snacking and get cracking with a snack that packs a protein punch. Visit wonderfulpistachios.com to learn more. So, Stacey, I wanted to mention at the end of the last segment because I found this story, if you're a sports fan, to be alarming. It does tie into the Yankees a little bit. So the Giants 3rd overall drafted Abdul Carter out of Penn State. And he apparently got to the Giants, and one of the first things that he asked was to wear number 56, which is obviously Lawrence Taylor's number, that is retired by the New York Giants. The Giants went to Lawrence Taylor and asked him, which is the wrong move as a franchise. We'll get into that in a second. What Lawrence Taylor thought. And Lawrence Taylor's response was, quote, hell no, make a number big for your own name, which I love. Tell the guy, go become an impact player and make a number, one that can't be worn ever again, for your own name. Love that. It's a bad job by the organization to put it on the player to be the bad guy and say no here. The organization should stand up for the number and say, no, we retired this number for a reason. No one wears the number ever again. That's how it works. It begs the question from a lot of people online, Stacey. What if Juan Soto demanded that he wore Tom Seaver's number? What would the Mets have done? You'll never find the answer out. But would they have gone to Tom Seaver's family and made Tom Seaver's family look bad? Or would they have made the decision? You can't make the player make the decision. This may become an issue, though, in the future with the New York Yankees. because there are so many retired numbers.
Yeah.
And while baseball players aren't generally as picky, especially right after the draft, you don't see them at the major league level as much. What happens when a big-time free agent says, I want to wear number 3? What do you do? Now, I do think the Yankees hold tradition a little strong enough to have the guts to say no. But, Stacey, we saw them move a very long-winded policy in the facial hair and the beards for Devin Williams this year.
Well, I mean,
what are they going to do? It wasn't for him,
but
it kind of was because he played a big role in it.
Yeah.
I wonder what happens here in the future. What if there's a free agent out there that says, I want to wear number 9?
Maybe they're gonna have to put like a limit, like 100 years. And once 100 years is up, the retired number could be worn by someone else.
Yeah, I agree. The family isn't fair because, especially if the player is passed on. How are you asking Babe Ruth's family?
That's why I say 100 years. No one's going to be left from Babe Ruth's family. No one's going to care.
Exactly. So there is that to it too. But again, you chose to retire the number. That's how it works now.
Yeah.
It's kind of the beauty of it. I do think the next retired number. I just want to ask this question before we get into what Game 3 holds in the Orioles series. I think it's safe to say the next retired number will probably be Aaron Judge, maybe CC because he got on the Hall of Fame, but definitely Aaron Judge.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Here's the question. Do you think if Aaron Judge retired today somehow, is he getting his number retired by the Yankees?
I think so.
So do I.
He may not have the playoff pedigree like, the other guys, but there are some guys who their numbers were retired mainly because they were on World Series winning teams. They never won MVPs.
Reggie Jackson.
They never hit 62 home runs in a year. So, yeah, I think he would.
Yeah, I agree with you. He broke the season record for home runs, formerly held by a Yankee, which is major. He's had multiple legendary seasons. He's also Yankee captain. It's just crazy that he's been with the team for. I mean, this is now his 10th season in the big leagues because he got called up in 2016, and you would already say that his number would get retired by the Yankees. It's crazy to think of it that way. How good he's been.
Yeah. So let's preview the finale of the Baltimore series. Carlos Carrasco against Cade Povich. Carrasco's 2-1 with a 5.26 ERA. Povich is reversed there with a 1-2 record, 5.04 ERA. Now, the good thing for the Yankees, because of Rodon's performance and because they only used Hamilton and Matzik, the good bullpen guys, good in quotes, the good bullpen guys are rested in case something bad happens to Carrasco, because there's always a risk with Carrasco that something might go sideways in his start, look to the 5.26 ERA. So that bodes well for them. Plus they have the off day Thursday, so they probably would be willing to use the better pitchers because they have that off day.
This to me feels like a bullpen game. There's gonna be a lot of bullpen pitchers seen in this game. I think they have the off day built in for Thursday, so they're gonna get these guys a little rest. I think you're gonna see a lot of bullpen in this game, and there's a good chance you'll see runs scored probably.
Yeah, and then one quick update about LeMahieu because we spoke about him earlier.
Crazy.
He had a preemptive cortisone shot in his hip.
Weird reporting, by the way. Preventive is strange.
Preventative, preemptive, like in case something happens, he had a cortisone shot. That's basically what it was. And I thought to myself, I've never heard of that before. I've only heard of people who have injured themselves getting cortisone shots to feel better. So I don't know what that means, but he will play again with Somerset either Thursday or Friday. So.
Good sign, but bad sign he's getting injections like this rapid of a pace. I don't get it. There's some discomfort going on, and he's trying to play through it, and I don't know if he's going to be able to do that in the major league level, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. All right, before we go, not only do we cover your team every day, but now we're giving you instant episodes after every single game. You can check out the Locked On Yankees postcast, which is hosted by Jay Berman. It's right here on the Locked On Yankees podcast feed. You get rapid reaction to all the biggest moments with the Locked On Yankees postcast. He has a lot of home runs to talk about. And thank you for making Locked On Yankees your first listen today. For your second listen, check out the all-new Locked On MLB Game Night. Every game, every night, all season long. Get local analysis on a national scale. Find MLB Game Night on Locked On MLB on YouTube or wherever you listen to your podcasts. So that'll do it for this edition of Locked On Yankees. I'm Stacey Gotsulias.
And I'm Brian McKeon. We'll catch you guys tomorrow.